I have here today the Otida X2 electric bike, which they have been gracious enough to send to me for review. As always, I'll be reviewing it from the perspective of someone who's interested in using it for bikepacking and adventuring. We will unbox it, take a look at the specs, and take it out for a full range test as a heavier rider. And then we'll close out the video with what I like and what I don't like. Now, full disclosure, they will be seeing this video ahead of time to approve it, but only for factual accuracy. Overall, initially, there was some quality control issues that I found when I was building the bike that made me worry, but once I actually got it out on the test ride, this thing is a beast, and I got some seriously impressive range numbers. Like most electric bikes, this thing ships partially assembled in a very large box, and as for what you get in it, aside from, of course, the bike parts, you get a box containing the battery and the keys for it, an optional front headlight, the pedals, a phone mount, which I thought was a nice touch, a bag full of every wrench, Allen key, and screwdriver you possibly need to work on the bike, only a very small portion of which were actually needed for assembly, a flimsy feeling tire pump, which is still nice, I guess they didn't have to include one, charger, some reflectors, a few zip ties for finishing cable management during assembly, and a set of pannier bags. Assembling it was pretty straightforward, except the physical manual was actually buried under a piece of foam attached to the cargo rack, and by the time I discovered it, I was already like 90% done building the bike. During assembly, there was two quality control issues that I found. The first thing, which is the more minor of the two, was that one of the set screws for the bike's display was actually missing, so I only have one set screw clamping the display to the handlebars right now. The second issue, the bad one, was the rear cargo rack. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's deformed to the point that it is not aligned properly. It is not centered above the rear wheel, and when it ships, there's two mounting points that are not attached towards the front of the rack that were not aligned with where the bolt holes should be when rotated in place. I managed to get one of the bolt holes secured, but that left the other side so horribly out of alignment that I had to do some percussive realignment in order to get the bolt hole to line up and attach it. And from the footage, you can see that the box doesn't look damaged, so I don't think this was something that happened in shipping. So that aside, let's take a look at the specs. It's your standard 26-inch by 4-inch fat tire e-bike, except this one has two motors, one up front, one in the back, and they are 1500 watts each, or for a total peak wattage of 3000 watts. Interestingly enough, the battery and drivetrain are actually 52 volts instead of the more common 48 volt that I've encountered. I like that because that means it'll dump about 8% more watt hours into the battery given the same amperage. And this battery is chunky. It's a 30 amp hour battery, giving you a ridiculous 1560 watt hours to work with. It's got a 7-speed derailleur, which I'm not going to personally use. It's a full suspension e-bike, so front and rear. And as for the throttle, it uses a twist style throttle. Okay, now to get this thing actually outside for a test ride, to test the range, hill climb, top speed, all that good stuff. Look at the battery on this thing. This is a chunky battery, man. It overhangs the sides of the frame by like a lot. I did turn this on briefly upstairs just to check and make sure that it actually turns on, and the screen on this thing is super bright. Like, even with my sunglasses on, I can see that. Just some things to note before we enter into this range test. I'm on the heavier end of the spectrum as a rider. I'm in the neighborhood of like 260 pounds. And of course, throttle only. I don't do pedaling. All right, wide open throttle, 3, 2, 1. Okay, it's not an immediate throw you on your back wheel type of affair. We're topped out at 13 miles an hour. So I wonder if this e-bike actually does cap your top speed based on what assist level you're in. Okay, so I think I figured it out. You can see on the screen here that I'm on eco mode. I think that's why my top speed is so limited. Let me see if I can figure out how to bump that up. So if I press up on here, we're up to normal. Let's see if I get a faster top speed. All right, more pep in its step from a standstill, that's for sure. And we're going faster, 18 miles an hour. I'm gonna ride around for a bit and get some experience on this bike. So let's get some miles in. So behind me, you can see this nice and tall green hill here. Two motors, 3000 watts. Let's see how it gets up there. Not quite, so let me try shifting it into the highest mode. Surprisingly, no. That is a little disappointing. It's a lot steeper than it looks on camera. It's actually a pretty steep hill. But yeah, no, we only got to about right about here. But I'll tell you one thing, the suspension on this thing is real nice. It's well tuned for someone of my weight. Right out of the gate, I haven't messed around with it or anything. What the suspension really makes feel nice is the ability to ride this thing off-road. With my other bike, there is no rear suspension, so I feel every bump in the ground. But with rear suspension, oh man, it makes off-roading so much better. Oh, there's the occasional hard bump there that really sends it into me, but for the lighter stuff, yeah, it really cushions the blow. First of the hill climb tests that I do with every electric rideable, and up we go. We dropped by about 2 miles an hour down to about 16. Oh, we dropped down to 15.3 miles an hour by the time we hit the top of that hill. Not too bad. All right, this is the hill that always stresses my electric rideables. Let's see if it gets up this one. Oh yeah, it crushed that hill no problem. It dropped a little bit, about as much as the first hill test. There's a trail behind me that I always like to ride the more off-road capable electric rideables I test through. Let's go see how many bugs we can get bit by. Oh. All right. Oh, coming up on the entrance. It looks like it's been worn down a little bit, so we can actually get through here. All right. Let's see how many different rashes and bug bites we can get. Yeah. Oh, we're actually getting through. Surprisingly. Oh. Yeah. Got a branch stuck in my wheel. Oh. And when I say off-roading, I mean off-roading. Through the mud. All right. Give it some beans up this little hill here. Key for me is to make sure I pay attention to where the trail's going. And it is very, very hard. Can you even see that the trail goes through here? Give it some beans. Oh man, it couldn't even get through there. Yeah, we really test this thing in the woods proper. Mosquitoes are swarming me. I'm gonna come out of this with a lot of bug bites. On that note, let's get going because I am getting covered in them. If I'm here much longer, they're gonna pick me up and carry me away. Oh boy. Oh. Oh. I went through that blind. What you guys saw, that's what I saw. Even worse, I had to close my eyes because stuff was smashing me in the face. You can see all kinds of plants and stuff. Hitched a ride on the e-bike. And honestly, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Okay, finally out of this mess. Oh, okay, there we go. So all of that, we haven't even dropped a pip on the battery gauge yet. Got a nice open road here. We're gonna crank this up to level 5. Top speed test. Let's see how fast we can go. 16, 17 miles an hour. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Looks like we're topping out at 26. Let's see what my GPS says. Max speed, 32 kilometers an hour. So we still haven't even lost the first pip off of the battery gauge yet. Like, it's still showing us full. And it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pip gauge. So I'm gonna cruise around a bit until we finally lose that first pip and I'll get back to you. All right, it finally happened. Oh, it went back up, but as I was riding, I finally lost the first pip. We've been at this for a while. We have done 18.6 kilometers. Man, we're gonna be out here for a while trying to burn this battery down. Tell you one thing, if we exceed my range expectations, I'm gonna be very happy because that'll make this immediately my new bikepacking e-bike, 100%. So one thing I am noticing is that because this battery is so thick, like so wide, when I actually stand up on the bike and my legs are shifted forward. They're a little bit far back right now, but my legs actually get pressed up against the battery, and so it's a little rough. By the way, we've done almost 30 kilometers and I still haven't lost the second pip. Throttle only. Aside from a sore butt, running out of daylight hours, it's a nice day to ride, man. Not too hot, not too cool. All right, we've lost one more pip, so I think it's time to stop and turn around, because I am very far from home and I do not want to run out of juice this far away. So yeah, this thing is holding up a lot more than I thought. We are at 33 kilometers, and now that I stopped and rested for a second, it's showing 4 pips on the thing again. Oh man. So far this thing is impressing me. That battery is lasting so far longer than I thought it would. Suffice it to say, I think the Otida X2 is a bit of a tank. I will say though, and this is probably just because I have dainty programmer hands, but my hand on the throttle, it's starting to get a little raw from twisting on the grip. So far my biggest complaint with this bike is just stuff protruding out of the sides. When I'm standing up on it, my leg keeps hitting and getting mashed up by random things. This thing here, the suspension arm of the rear, because it sticks out so far, whenever I go to stand up on the pedals, my leg like hits it. I feel it pressing into my leg. If you're just sitting on it riding it normally, it's not going to matter, but if you're like me and you need to shift position and like stand up, it's definitely noticeable. Minor gripe in the grand scheme of things. We're just about to break 40 kilometers and I haven't even dropped down another pip yet. The way things are now, we might actually hit 60 kilometers, which is nuts. I'm going 19 miles an hour, full brakes now. Oh yeah, I could lock up the tire. They're a little bit light to start, but I think they just needed to be worn in. I don't know if there was like a coating on the brake pads or something. We gotta be getting close to breaking the 50 kilometer mark. Well, we've hit 2 pips on the battery gauge. Let's see what we've done. 47 kilometers, and my butt is starting to get really sore. I think the bike is actually going to outlast my ability to sit on the bike. I want to know exactly the moment we break 50 kilometers. 49.99, and bam, we just surpassed 50 kilometers. Wow, this thing is a beast. And you want to know what's even weirder? The battery gauge is showing 3 pips again. Okay, Otida, I am impressed. I am very impressed. Oh man. This bike just floats over grass. Just floats over it. We're pretty low on the battery. Oh, it just dipped to 1 bar on the gauge here. I really love this bike for light off-roading, so like grass, dirt trails, stuff like that. It just floats over small stuff. Oh, I just hit a big hole. We're just about to break 60 kilometers. We're definitely getting close to the end of this little adventure here. I'm near home and I ain't gonna stray too far now. We're losing gusto on the throttle. Oh yeah, I have like no throttle power now. So a slight hill here and we're barely able to go 5 miles an hour up it, full throttle. And we might just call it here in just a few moments. Yeah, the last pip is now gone on the battery, so we are 100% dead. Final range, 61.03 kilometers. There isn't too much that I don't actually like about this bike. The only real tier 1 complaint I have is, like I said, the quality control. Now, it could have just been a one-off with the one sent to me, but having 2 separate issues, both the cargo rack and the missing set screw in the same shipment, kind of makes me worry. And that's really the only bad thing I have to say. So Otida, if you could sort that out, you would be golden, because everything else about this bike has either met or exceeded my expectations, especially the range. That 61 kilometer figure, that was throttle only, not an ounce of pedaling. And you saw what I put the bike through. I sent it through that thick bush. We did lots of hills, lots of grass riding. I also really love the kickstand. It's really sturdy and has no give when the bike is at rest. It's nice to have a kickstand actually designed to handle the heavy weight of a hefty e-bike. And the other thing I really love is that display. It's full color and it is bright enough to see out in the sun with my sunglasses on. So the X2 is 100% replacing my other e-bike as my main bikepacking e-bike. It gets almost twice the range. I can do 50 kilometer days without having having to stop and charge halfway through the day on this thing. I just need to make sure that my overnight accommodations have power. With the charger it ships with, that 9-hour 0 to 100 charge time is on the longer end of things. If you're interested, the bike will be linked down below in the description and pinned comment, and you know the drill, it's affiliate links. If you buy using my links, I get a kickback. Shout out to Otida for sending me this bike to review. If you're new to the channel, I'm all about electric vehicles, outdoors adventuring, and gaming, often a combination of all three. And one last thing, my new novel is out now. It's a biotech conspiracy thriller. It's a great way to support the channel while also getting something cool in return.